Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. My name is Arya Pillai and I'm an animation production student at Arts University Bournemouth. And in today's video, I'll be sharing with you my short film pitch from my second year of university, which was last year for me, as I'm now in third year and about to graduate. And I thought this would be a good idea to give you guys some inspiration if you're looking to create your own ideas for a potential film, or if you just want to see my portfolio. As I've gotten a lot of requests from people for me to share my portfolio, and it's something that I will do. I'm just sort of going through all the logistics of building a website and getting all my work together in one place. As an artist, your portfolio is just never complete, so it's always a work in progress, but I just want to get that website ready so it's all looking great and it's all professional, as I am transitioning from student to professional, so I gotta get all my work together and so that it's industry ready. So this was a film that I did pitch in second year, but unfortunately it didn't go into production as it wasn't selected as one of the 14 films in the end, but I was very lucky enough to be able to pitch it to the entire year group, and that experience in itself was great. And as some of you may know, I'm working on another production this year, or I'm almost done with that. I've only got a week left pretty much to get all the animation done for another film called The Graveyard Shift. So I was an animator and character designer on that film, and we're getting all of that ready to then send off to film festivals, so watch out for The Graveyard Shift. This film is something I really want to bring to life someday, and so I want to share it with you guys in its early production stage. So, to intro my film, it's called She Lives Inside Me. And now I will read the logline and synopsis. I've got my iPad here, so that's why I'm looking down. Let me introduce you to the story. So the logline reads, a British Indian girl comes to accept her dual identity by reconnecting with her cultural roots and healing her inner child as she sails along the backwaters of Kerala. And the synopsis? Ganga is a 20-year-old British Indian girl travelling along a houseboat on holiday in Kerala, India. As she sails along the backwaters, she is reminded of her childhood in the UK and how she spent so much of it confused by her cultural identity as she didn't feel British enough nor Indian enough. These flashbacks remind Ganga of how far she's come with embracing her culture, and this helps the little girl inside her feel more safe and at ease. However, Ganga still feels insecure about one thing, not being able to speak her home language. A 2D animated short film. The storyline is based on my own experiences as a British Indian girl who's grown up and lived all her life in the UK, in London specifically, and has always had this cultural identity crisis almost. That might be a little too far, but I've always had this thing where I'm just I don't feel British enough, nor do I feel Indian enough. And I struggled with that a lot as a child, and now becoming an adult, I've come to accept my identity because I know who I am and I'm the one who defines who I am. And so the idea of inner child healing is also something that I really like the concept of, and I really wanted to tie this into my situation and my experiences as a British Indian girl, as I've said. So I kind of merged the two concepts together, and that's how this film was birthed. I believe many people will be able to relate to this film, and you may not be able to relate to the specifics, my character being British Indian, but I'm sure many of us have felt how it feels like to not fit in. And that can be in any way, really. It doesn't have to be to do with cultural identity necessarily, but I think it's something that many of us have experienced in our lives. And I think also bringing in the idea of inner child healing, which I'm pretty sure everybody needs to do, as many of us carry a lot of unresolved trauma from our childhoods, and also insecurity that lingers in our adult lives. I strongly believe if we tap into our inner child and look at the things that bring us insecurity now as adults, that we're able to become better people, be able to grow and really become the best versions of ourselves. And I feel like in my own experience of tapping into my inner child and being able to support her, because she still exists, she lives inside me, and being able to tap into that has made me grow and has made me become a better, more confident person. And in the end, that's what this film is about, and it pays homage to that experience. So let's move on to the characters, my favorite part. So I'm gonna point and hopefully I can get the pictures of my characters up on screen. So here is Ganga. Ganga is our leading lady. She is a 20-year-old British Indian girl. She's going on holiday, as I read in the synopsis, and she's in India and she's fully embraced her Indian identity, and now she's proudly wearing a sari, which is a traditional Indian garment that's draped across the body, and she's living her best life essentially. And then we have our other character, which is still Ganga, but we call her young Ganga around here. She is the same character, and she's about, I think I'm gonna say, between the ages of like 7 to 9 years old, quite young, still quite insecure. She hasn't fully accepted her identity, and she is just going through life nervous, anxious, worried about what other people think of her. And so these are our two characters. So there was many versions and many different designs for these characters. Typically they all do look very similar, just because I had a vision in my mind of what I wanted the characters to look like. But Ganga, it was very important for her to be wearing a sari as an adult, just to show the audience how she's fully embracing her culture. And that it's kind of a representation of where I'm at in my life. I proudly, and I love to wear my Indian clothes. I feel beautiful in it, and I wanted to express that through my character. Whereas the younger version of Ganga doesn't really wear her Indian clothes proudly. She does wear it in the film, as you will see in the animatic. I have an animatic. Yes, if I can get it on YouTube without it getting copyright striked, because there is music to it, you will see it. If not, it will be on my Instagram or some other link so you guys can check it out. But young Ganga is wearing just, your typical Western clothes, t-shirt, skirt, yeah. And in the film she is wearing her Indian clothes as well, but she isn't proud of it. She's quite insecure, she's running away. You'll see in the animatic, but there's a stark difference between these two characters who are the same person, and that was very important for me to convey in this film. If you're interested in seeing some of the other designs that I have for these two characters, I have posted some of it on my Instagram already, so you can check it out. I'll try and post some more on the screen so you guys can have a look and see what like rough character designs and character concepts look like. Yeah, they're super rough to begin with, and then they just develop over time. But here are some of them on screen. And now moving on to environments. So environment design, layout design isn't really my strong suit, I will be honest. It's okay, like I can do it, but it's not really something I like to tap into too much. So I have only 1 or 2, I think, not character design, sorry, environment designs. And so yeah, there's not many, but in the film primarily takes place on a houseboat, and it's essentially what it says on the tin. It's literally a floating house. And there's multiple bedrooms, they're quite big, and you get a lot of them in the state Kerala in India, where the film takes place. And on these houseboats, as I said, they're quite large. There's multiple bedrooms. It truly does look like a house that's floating. I've never experienced going on a houseboat. I've always wanted to, and so this film is basically my imagination of what it would be like going on that boat and getting to experience it. I know a lot of tourists go on them, and like I'm literally from that state and I've never done it, so hopefully one day. But this story is, yeah, just what I imagine that experience to be like. So I created one environment design just to give the other students in my year group an idea of what the environments in the story would look like, because essentially when I was pitching the film, I had to show all the students what they would be working on and like the types of environments that they would be creating, as if my film was to be greenlit, then this would be the production that builds the basis of their portfolio, the graduate portfolio. And so the environment that I designed, I'll pop it on the screen, hopefully it shows up, is basically what it would look like on the houseboat itself. This environment I'm pretty proud of just because it took me a couple attempts at first. I've never really painted on like Procreate. So yeah, I've never painted and I didn't really do much line art for this piece. Which is what I'm normally used to when I do like character designs. I don't tend to paint a lot, so I did have to experiment a lot and see what worked and just test things out, but that's how you learn, right? And I'm proud of the result. And so that's the houseboat design for the film. But as I said, the film does have multiple locations. I don't know, did I say that? Maybe I didn't say that, but the film, actually, I said it in the synopsis, but let me make it clear. There's multiple locations in this film. When I say multiple, I mean two. The houseboat in Kerala and then UK, London. So there's a lot of flashbacks, so it's like, it goes from the present moment on the boat and then a flashback to Ganga's childhood back in London in the UK. So think very urban city, just London, the streets of London. So that was an environment that I hadn't designed, or I haven't designed at all. But I wanted to focus on the houseboat just because that's primarily where the film takes place. As well as the two locations, being the houseboat and then London, there's also a lot of abstract backgrounds that I would have had in this film, just because my character goes through a trance-like state towards the end of the film. Where she's imagining all these symbols that represent both India and British culture. And as she's going through this trance, just think of like abstract images and shapes and things just morphing. I just really wanted it to feel very creative and quite a stark difference from the two almost real locations, India, London, and then this abstract imagery. So in the animatic, again, if I'm able to share it on YouTube, you'll see some abstract images towards the end where she's freaking out because she's unable to speak her language, as well as not her inner child not being able to accept the fact that she is both Indian and British, and she still feels insecure about that. There's a little tiny voice inside adult Ganga that's saying she still feels this way, and the film basically says it's okay, don't worry. everyone goes through this, and so in the end she embraces her inner child after going through this whole trance-like state. They meet, and once they reunite and they hug, the two merge into one because they are the same person. And yeah, it's just a beautiful message. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy seeing the animatic. Let's hope it plays now. If not, as I said, I will share it with you guys either on Instagram or some other type of link if you'd like to see it. But that's the entire synopsis of my story, the characters, the environment, and it's something I really would like to create someday. So I really hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you enjoy the animatic and all the designs. And if you guys have any questions or anything that you would like to talk about, please reach out to me on Instagram or leave me a comment. I really appreciate it every time I see the comments or a message on Instagram. It's so lovely being able to connect with you guys, so let's keep that up. And if you've got any ideas for any YouTube videos you'd like me to create, please drop me a comment down below. Alright guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye!